All right, folks, so you never know how you might be surprised when reading social media. So imagine when my wife, Jackie, member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, shared with me this particular tweet from a Republican in Loudoun County in Virginia, Scott Pyle. So Scott sent this tweet out because this photo right here, remember Friday we were at the White House when Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson, the celebration there, her being confirmed as the first black woman on the U.S. Supreme Court. Well, Scott saw this photo. It was a posting of Keisha Lance Bottoms. Y'all go to who was the former mayor of Atlanta. She said, calling all Deltas to the floor at the White House as we celebrate the confirmation of Judge and soon-to-be Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson. Well, Scott said Skull and Bones has lost their power. It's now the sorority known as Delta Sigma Theta who is taking control of our country at all levels of government. Even the Loudoun County Board of Supervisors chairman is a Delta. Well, and then you also had other folks who then began to chime in, including State Senator Louise Lucas. And then folks at Blue Virginia said, seriously, where does Governor VA find these fools represent him? The Loudoun County GOP chair claims that the sorority known as Delta Sigma Theta is taking control of our country at all levels of government. And so Scott then came and said, I must be over the target. So Delta Sigma Theta now control multiple levels of government. I wonder if they are the organization at the center of the push for equity and CRT in our classrooms. Did DST initiate Thomas Jefferson too? Okay. So I sent a tweet. I sent a tweet and said, Scott, let's talk about this on Roland Martin Unfiltered. And so he said he would come on. So he joins us right now. So Scott, welcome to the show. You're the chair of the Loudoun County Republican Party.
Hey, Roland, how are you?
Doing great.
Yes, I am the chair.
So
thank you for very much having me on tonight.
So first question, why are you so hot and bothered and concerned about Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated?
Ooh, can I give you a small background, maybe 30 seconds?
I don't care. Go ahead.
All right. So Delta Sigma kind of came on the radar with me for...
No. It's Delta Sigma Theta. Go ahead.
Yes. You want me to say the whole thing?
Yeah, so remember, I'm in the fraternity, so there could actually be a sorority called Delta Sigma, so it's Delta Sigma Theta. Okay. But go ahead.
All right. Can I use deltas?
Yes, you can.
All right. So the deltas came on the scene, at least from my perspective, about 2 or 3 years ago when our chairperson, our county chair of the entire Loudoun County, if you know her, Phyllis Randall, it looks like you're in the D.C. area, so you might actually have
Yes, I'm based in D.C. I live in Loudoun County. I do know Phyllis Randall. Yes.
Great. So Phyllis likes to show off her Delta sign sometimes on her Twitter profiles, and it makes me curious. I'm a Socratic type thinker, and if you know what that is, it makes people ask questions more than make assumptions or make statements. So it's very important to me to be questionable of this. And so when the county chairperson throws her Delta sign up, it's very curious to see that. And then when I also see it on a Twitter profile on the White House lawn, and also a grin brings up curiosity. And I have to question, well, why is that going on? Or why are these people throwing up the Delta signs? And being Greek myself, I did not have Deltas at my school, so I was
What fraternity are you in?
Lambda Chi, Alpha.
And what college did you go to?
Florida Institute of Technology.
Florida Institute of Technology. Got it. Okay.
Yes.
All right, go ahead.
So Randall hires the executive director of the Deltas a couple years ago, and Janine Arnett, and she is found out by the FBI to be committing fraud at the Delta. She resigns from the Deltas, and then she is hired by Phyllis Randall at the Loudoun County level. And this really has me curious again, like why would Phyllis Randall hire the executive director of the Deltas? And then so
who did you say the executive director was?
Gina Arnett.
You said Gina Arnett?
Janine.
Janine Arnett. Okay, go ahead.
Yes, sir. And then, so from there, Miss Louise Lucas, the Senator of Virginia, the one that's actually the president of the Senate, has throwing up her signs with several other deltas in both the Senate and the House of Virginia. And she says, we control this place. And the deltas are in charge. And so you have Phyllis Randall, you have the White House lawn, you have the Senate, and even the executive director being hired at the local level. And it has me very curious, being the Socratic type thinker.
Gotcha.
So I look up the deltas, and I realize that they're a major fraternity / sorority of the Divine Nine.
No. Let me correct you. The deltas are a major sorority. They're not a fraternity. They're nine members of the Divine Nine. The Divine Nine represents the historically black fraternity and sororities. And Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated was the first. That's what this is. I'm a life member. And so you have Omega Psi Phi, Kappa Alpha Psi, Phi Beta Sigma. You have iotas, you have deltas, AKAs, zetas, and then you also have Sigma Gamma Rho. Those are the members of the Divine Nine.
Yes, sir. So what I was trying to say is the sorority is inside the Divine Nine of both fraternities and sororities.
So when you say when you hear deltas are running this, do you know what that means?
Deltas are running this.
Do you know what that? Do you know what the phrase means?
No, I do not.
So here, let me explain to you what that means. So there's a typical phrase that we say, "Who runs the yard?" Do you know what the yard is?
Not being from your culture, no, I do not.
No, actually, it's not a question being from my culture. I'm a Texas A&M graduate. So I'm black, I'm an alpha, Powell Macron chapter, Texas A&M University. And so the phrase is also used at PWIs, which are predominantly white institutions. But you often would hear that phrase, not just at historically black colleges, but we also use that phrase at Texas A&M. And so what it often says is that when you're a member of one of these Greek organizations, you're very proud to be a member. And so you often will say, our organization is running the yard, meaning we're the ones who typically are leading multiple organizations involved in community service, things along those lines. So that's where the phrase comes from. And so being an alpha, when you look at the historical members that we have who are alphas, Dr. King, Thurgood Marshall, when you look at people like Jesse Owens and Ralph Metcalf and Congressman Charlie Rangel, right now I can go to Capitol Hill and I can talk about Congressman Scott, Congressman Horford, Congressman Emmanuel Cleaver. I can talk about Congressman Bobby Scott. All of those are alphas. And so you hear the phrase alphas running Congress. And so it's a phrase that is used. When you talk about Delta Sigma Theta, do you understand that the deltas comprise more than 500,000 members across the country? You're in Loudoun County. This is the eastern region. In this region alone, you have upwards of 20,000 deltas who are here, who may be at their regional convention. And so when you say that you are curious, what it also says is that you really don't have any understanding about the historical nature of historically black fraternities and sororities and what their involvement is, not only in politics, but in communities. Isn't that also, frankly, a reflection of the lack of understanding and knowledge of the Republican Party?
No, I totally disagree with you. I think the Republican Party is a very curious party as well.
Really?
At least,
I mean, you do know that there are, you do know, Scott, you do know there are Republican deltas. You do know that, right?
May I at least respond to?
No. I'm asking. Are you aware that there are Republican deltas?
Yeah, there has to be, of course.
And there are Republican alphas, there are Republican AKAs, all the different fraternities and sororities. And so it was just curious that you were so bothered to see these group of black women throwing up their Delta sign, and each of our institutions, we have signs. I'm an alpha, this is our sign. Omegas and Kappas have theirs. And so it was as if you were really bothered by this.
Let me ask you a question, Roland. Each of the Divine Nine, so to speak, the deltas even, they like to be signified as Delta Sigma Theta Incorporated.
No, not question. They like to be signified. When we refer to one another, we say Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, Delta Sigma Theta Fraternity Incorporated, Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. That's actually the official name. Now, for short, we may say, well, hold up, we may, one second, we may say, hold up, one second, we may say there goes an Alpha, there goes a Delta, there goes an AKA, there goes an Omega man, there goes a Sigma man. So there are different phrases that we use, but go ahead.
So if you were to look at Deltas as a corporation and they're on the White House lawn throwing up their signs, which actually you're incorrect.
Actually, you're incorrect. No, hold on. Actually, you're incorrect. The Deltas.
I didn't interrupt you.
Delta members. No, hold on.
I'm asking you not to interrupt me. Let me speak for a second. If the Deltas are on the White House lawn throwing up their Delta sign, and they're also incorporated, meaning they're a business of some sort with 500,000 members, and they're active and participant, wouldn't this also mean that a business has access to the federal government and has influence on the federal government?
Actually, they're not. Scott, they're not a business.
Wait, they are a business.
They're not a business. They're a 501c3.
That is a business, is it not?
Okay, but it's a nonprofit.
That's a business.
Right, no, but it's a nonprofit. And then when you also say the Deltas, follow me here, Scott. When you say the Deltas were there, you do know that if you're a member of an organization and other members of your organization are at a particular place, you typically will see one another. Like, I'll give you an example, Scott. I said I'm a Texas A&M graduate. You see this ring? Guys, zoom in.
No, I cannot.
No, trust me, you'll see it in a second. You see this ring? You see this ring right here? Zoom in.
Yes, sir.
This is a Texas A&M graduate ring.
Yes, sir.
My brother has one.
I'm glad you still wear that.
No. Well, first of all, that tells you right there you know nothing about Texas A&M, because this is one of the most important symbols of Texas A&M. When my brother has one, my sister has one, my sister's husband has one, my cousin has one, my wife's sister has one. The reality is this here. When we travel anywhere around the world, Scott, when Aggies see this ring, the first thing we say to one another is, what class? When the question comes up, you instantly know that you are talking to a fellow Aggie. So what happens, Scott, if a group of Aggies were at the White House, more than likely a group of Aggies would take a picture, and the picture would be like this here. We'll be taking the picture with our Aggie ring and the Gig'em sign. That's what we do. So hold on, I'm gonna finish the question. Hold on, Scott. So you're bothered that members of an organization who come from different areas happen to be at the White House who took a picture, and you're like, ooh, this is a scary group?
No, that's not fair. I never said it was a scary group.
Well, you invoked skull and bones, so.
My reference to this is the fact that a single corporation like Deltas have so much control and power and influence, possibly, curiously, on the White House lawn.
But it was a photo. So what? Hold up. First of all, Scott, what power? Scott, I'm curious. What power? Hold up. What power and control do they have?
That's not fair, Roland. If I can't interrupt you, you gotta.
No. I'm asking you, what power and control do they have to your knowledge?
I know, but you're a very respectable man, and you're very well read. I've watched you for several years now, especially on the news channels, and you're a very good, particular person about not interrupting. So, of course, I'm certainly asking you if you can do the same thing for me.
No, I'm not going to interrupt. I just want you to answer that question.
So let me finish really quick. They are a business, and they do have members, and some of those members are in large areas of the federal government / our local government. And if they didn't prescribe to showing that Delta symbol off, or didn't share that on social media quite influentially, and say that we run this place, or they run the Virginia Senate like Miss Louise does, or Miss Chairman of the Loudoun County Board of Supervisors does, I don't think I would have a problem with it. My problem is one single corporation out of the entire federal government, or the one corporation out of the entire state, says they run this joint, and they also control it. And when has the last time that we've ever allowed one corporation of any sort to both show signs on the White House lawn, show their emblems on the White House lawn, or even say they run this joint in any respect to the Senate,
Scott,
to the White House lawn, to the
Scott,
Loudon GOP or Loudon Board of Supervisors?
Scott, do you know what sorority Vice President Kamala Harris is a member of?
Yes, Deltas.
No, you're wrong. You're wrong as hell. You and matter of fact, what, Scott, you are so wrong that actually that's considered an insult from the AKAs. She's a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated.
Okay, so I got those two confused.
Okay, hold on, Scott. I'm gonna help you out with something. I want you to use this opportunity as a teachable moment.
I'll take it. Go ahead and teach me.
Scott, do you see what I'm wearing?
I do. When I saw you, I was like, maybe I should wear the same thing.
Do you see these colors?
I do.
The colors are called black and old gold. Those are the colors of Alpha Phi Alpha. If you see crimson, cream, Kappa Alpha Psi. You see red and white, Delta Sigma Theta. You see pink and green, Alpha Kappa Alpha. If you see blue and gold, Zetas. If you see blue and white, Sigma Gamma Rho or Phi Beta Sigma. If you see brown and gold, you see the iotas, okay? So Omegas are purple, royal purple, and old gold. Those are all the colors. So we also, not only do we have names, we have colors. And one of the things that you also do, Scott, is it's insulting when you call one of us another group. So if you ever someone call me a Kappa or an Omega or a Sigma, it's frankly insulting because how we refer to ourselves as there's only one of us. And so we think we are the better of all of them. So, but what I find to be hilarious about this is that when you try to associate, oh my God, they're on the White House lawn. I literally just told you as an Aggie, same thing, photos taken. Groups take photos all the time, but you're so bothered. So is the real issue that you're bothered that Phyllis Randall, who is the head of Loudoun County, that she's a Delta and she's a proud Delta? Are you aware that you bother to do any research about the community service projects of Deltas and the Divine Nine and literally the type of things that they do in the community, not just with voter registration, not just with education, not just with literacy, but literally have been honored across the country and the world by Democrats and Republicans for their work. And so maybe, hold on, I'm not done. So maybe what you ought to do, instead of being, oh my God, they're taking over the government, maybe what you ought to do is call some of your fellow black Republicans who are members of the Divine Nine and say, hey, maybe y'all should also educate me because maybe part of the problem is you don't know black people or enough black people or don't understand the history of these organizations and what they mean to America, to Virginia, to Loudoun County.
So, Roland, I'm certainly an American, and I know I have plenty of friends. I go to a multicultural church, one of the very largest in Northern Virginia. You probably attend the same church I do if you do. I
don't.
You don't? Okay.
I don't. No, because I go to First Baptist Glen Arden in Maryland.
Oh, okay. Well, I go to one of the largest, and I certainly have a lot of friends there as well. And I don't know if it would be beneficial to be to sort of put me on an offensive when you're trying to attack me at some point.
No, I'm not attacking you. What I'm suggesting to you is maybe what you should do is actually talk to them because they can actually help you to understand what the Divine Nine is and what Delta Sigma Theta does and what they do, because the fact that you were just like, oh my God, because look, if you pull a photo up, I wanted to help you out with something here, Scott, because you know, I thought this was pretty funny. So you look at the photo here. First of all, you got Melanie Campbell back here, who is the head of the Black Women's Roundtable, the National Coalition on Black Civic Participation. You got Ashley Etienne right here, who was the former head of, who was the over communications director for Vice President Kamala Harris. Okay, you got Heather right here, worked in the Obama administration. You got Alencia here, used to be with Planned Parenthood also. She's worked in politics. Tasha, Congressional Black Caucus Foundation. You got see this woman, the sister right here. You really ought to get to know her because maybe the Republican Party should get behind the Crown Act because you had too many Republicans who voted against the bill that outlawed hair discrimination. She was the one who put the whole policy initiative together to actually fight that. You've got Lucy McBath. Of course, her son was killed. Member of Congress, she's fighting for gun control. You got Congresswoman Joyce Beatty, chair of the Congressional Black Caucus. I can go on and on and on. And so you've got a variety of black women who are very much involved in politics, social organizations, community organizations, civil rights down the line. And so as opposed to you being so concerned and all the power they have, again, I might suggest if you reach out to the black folks you know at your church or whatever and say, hey, tell me more about what I should know about the Divine Nine, because if I know more, I have a better understanding of constituents who maybe I want to be able to talk to about policy, about issues, what they're concerned about when it comes to education. And the point is this here. You also put up here, I wonder if they are the organization at the center of the push for equity and CRT in our classrooms. Well, we already know right there that. So are you telling me, Scott, you have a problem with equity in America? You have a problem with equity?
You gonna let me speak on it for a full few sentences?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, I do have a problem with equity.
And what is it?
I have a problem with, well, Thomas Jefferson. Do you know it? You're in Loudoun County.
Yeah, he actually raped a black woman and he had slaves.
No,
actually, he did. I mean, he was sleeping with a slave, Sally Hemings. So, yeah, I'm very familiar with Thomas Jefferson.
I'm not talking about Thomas Jefferson, the man. I'm talking about Thomas Jefferson.
Well, who the hell are you talking about then? You asked me, do I know Thomas Jefferson? And I told you, I know Thomas Jefferson, the man who raped a black woman named Sally Hemings, who had babies by him. Same Thomas Jefferson, right?
Roland, I would agree with you, probably the same Thomas Jefferson.
Okay, go right ahead. Go ahead.
You, sir, I know you're a very well-read man, and you own some newspapers, and you're very invested in the news. And I know you know what's happening at Thomas Jefferson High School, where they actually removed the merit-based testing program to get into Thomas Jefferson in order to allow for everybody to get into Thomas Jefferson. And I'm not one to divide people by their race or by their color. But what they did at Thomas Jefferson High School was to do just that. The school board made an altercation and an alteration to the merit-based process at Thomas Jefferson and no longer allows Thomas Jefferson to decide children based on their merit. They're now deciding children and who gets in and who gets out based on their race. And I'm not comfortable with putting people into boxes and putting people into little categories based on the color of their skin. And
so but you didn't mention that. You talked about specifically equity and CRT in our classrooms when the reality is,
yes, sir.
First of all, which is actual nonsense. So you don't have CRT, but it goes.
Nonsense? What's nonsense?
Really? What CRT? Where's CRT being taught in Loudoun County schools? Because I remember the school board meeting where literally the superintendent said that is not the case. Said it point blank, repeatedly.
And then the superintendent also wrote several emails that we are actually teaching principles of CRT in the classroom. And then the board of supervisors also went on private video that says we are, in fact, using the principle of CRT.
So how are you trying to blame? So how are you trying to blame deltas when you have nothing? When you say, I wonder if they are. You said, Scott. I'm gonna read, Scott. Hold on.
I did just do something.
Scott, I'm gonna read your comment back. You wrote, I wonder if they are the organization at the center of the push for equity and CRT in our classrooms. Why did you say that?
Well, if you know the power players in Loudoun County on the Democrat side, I think you would be aware.
No. You didn't say Democrats. You said deltas. Why did you say that about deltas?
You do read the politics of your local county, correct?
Yes, but why did you say deltas? You didn't say Democrats. You said deltas. Are all Democrats in Loudoun County deltas?
We've already declared that Phyllis Randall's a delta.
Hold on. That's one person. Who else?
It is. There are several other players, and Phyllis Randall brought the executive director into Loudoun County.
No. Phyllis Randall is one.
Right after
Hold
that,
up.
she was fired for
Scott,
fraud.
Phyllis Randall is one person. How many other Deltas in Loudoun County do you know?
Particularly, I would say 4 or 5 in the power sphere of Loudoun County.
Really? Name them.
No.
Hold up. You said you know 4 or 5. Name them.
Phyllis Randall's a public person. I'm certainly not going to name the private individual.
Okay, fine. So the other, you know 5. So 4 of the Deltas you know are private. 1 is public. I'm asking you again. Why did you assign and suggest that the Deltas, you say, I wonder if they are the organization. So are you saying there is an organization that is behind equity and CRT in the classrooms?
No, I'm saying I'm very curious with
No.
the question mark.
No. Hold up. Let me break it down again. You said,
yeah, go ahead.
Hold up. You said, I wonder if
That's
they.
The question.
Oh, I'm not done, Scott. Hold up. You said, yep. I wonder if they are the organization.
Yep.
Tanya and Jason, or 2 of my panelists, they're college professors.
Yes, sir.
Y'all can, so Tanya and Jason, if someone says if they are the organization, are they not? Scott, hold on. I'm gonna let you talk. I'm asking Jason and Tanya, since they're college professors. If someone writes, hold up, Scott. If someone writes, I wonder if they are the organization at the center of the push, Tanya and Jason, as college professors, does this not imply that there is an organization as the primary organizer in the push for equity and CRT? Jason?
Roland.
Scott, hold on, Scott. Hold on. Scott, I got you. Just breathe. Woosah. Jason? Scott, you about Jason? He got a show on the Daily Caller. Conservatives love watching them. He on Fox News. Hold on, Scott. Hold on. Jason, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know that they love watching me, but I'll say this. First of all, I was frustrated if it is a question that he put a period at the end of it instead of a question mark. But as a college professor who reads papers all day, and also, as a party, he comes from a party that always talks about 2 genders, but he misgendered the woman by saying chairman instead of chairwoman. But yes, Roland, I agree with you with what you said. He said the organization. I wonder, and it to me, it seems like it's fear mongering. And Scott, I commend you at least for having the guts to come here, but you got to do your due diligence before you come in and you tweet something and you're going to defend it.
Hold up, Scott. Hold on. Tanya, go ahead and weigh in.
Yes. As a law professor, I'm very familiar with the Socratic method. I use it in all of my classes. The U.S. should be so lucky if Deltas were taking over at every level of government. That simply isn't the case, though we have shown leadership since 1913. That's when we arrived on the scene, just for your
So Tanya, are you a Delta?
I am a member of Delta Sigma Theta sorority.
So Scott, you just met another Delta.
Old title
yes,
every
ma'am.
time.
Tanya, go ahead.
But my point, Scott, is this to me is classic race baiting. I think what you meant to say is it looks like Black women are taking over. Because we're seeing Black women on the Supreme Court. We're seeing Black women in Congress. We're seeing Black women in the White House. That's a different observation. And I don't think it's curiosity. I think you express some concern about it. Not that you wonder whether this organization is responsible for something that you find objectionable, but why are these Black women on the White House lawn signifying their relationship to this organization? Sports teams come to the White House all the time to celebrate the Super Bowl or the World Series. We have organizations like that that are often celebrating their presence and in our nation's capital at the executive seat of government. So I don't understand why it's such a problem when it's Black women. And again, let me just reiterate my point. The U.S. would be so lucky to have Deltas running everything up and down the political gamut.
I got one more person to comment before I go back to you, Scott. Monique Presley. Scott, hold on. Monique is the daughter of a Delta.
Respond to this.
Hold on. You're going to respond, Scott. Monique is the daughter of a Delta. So you've now met the daughter of a Delta. Monique, go right ahead, please, with your comment.
Is Scott still talking? Hey, Scott.
Hello.
Monique, go ahead. Monique, go ahead.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I could be heard.
Yes, you're heard. You go ahead.
Groups got together for many years. They were members of the Ku Klux Klan, and nobody was bothered. And the Deltas do have power, as all voters have power, and surely as Black women who have built this country have power. Yes, I am the daughter of a Delta, Joyce Ann Daniel, but there are other Deltas, Barbara Jordan, Dorothy Height. There are so many who have been responsible, Jessie McGuire Dent, for the birthing of this nation. And for me, I just would hope that we would elevate the conversation and that maybe Scott would read the room and understand this is not the season for you to attack Black women because we actually got together and did something. Find another issue.
Scott, go ahead.
All right, Roland. Is it my turn now?
I said go ahead, Scott. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. So at the very beginning when I was trying to interrupt you, and let me just say one thing. First, this is a fallacy almost. You're asking me to appeal to authority and listen to three people that you think that as college professors might have some authority on the issue.
No. Actually, Scott. They have authority on the use of the English language. That's how I was referring to them, but go ahead.
That is a fallacy. It's called appeal to authority. Please look it up. The second piece, the second one is I don't care to make assumptions about anything. It's always about a question. And for your second speaker, I don't remember her name. I'm very sorry.
Her name is Tanya.
Miss Tanya, for her to make assumptions about this is a white thing versus a Black thing, that is totally disregarded and totally unfair. I've come on this show. I've been very nice to you. I've been very generous with my time. And I think we should have a conversation, and we should always be communicating. I, from the GOP side, should be talking to the Democrat side. And we should be talking. There should be no reason for a misunderstanding here. And I appreciate you telling me and you allowing me to represent my opinion on this show. Thank you. I'm sorry it had to be from the GOP perspective. But I do not appreciate an assumption that this is a Black versus white thing, and I'm not okay with black people running things. To me, it's about being American, and I'd rather see just Americans running things.
Well, but the reality, Scott, is these are Americans.
I don't want to see a separate single organization having so much influence, whether it be at the federal level, at the state level, at the local level. And at this point, in my opinion, you've given me a lot to think about tonight.
Hey, Scott. Are you offended? Are you offended by the power that the Federalist Society has in our society?
No, I'm offended that Miss Tanya made assumptions about me.
No, Scott. I'm asking you a specific question. You talked about
on a different topic now.
Scott. You said about one organization having power. Do you object? Do you object to the Federalist Society having an undue influence on our society in the picking of federal judges and Supreme Court nominees by Republicans?
I object to any organization, even if it's a society or in general, having too much influence.
So
if that society is called the Federalist Society, or if that society is called the KKK, like Monique decided to bring up, or that society is called the Deltas, I have offense to all three of those.
But here's the problem here. And this is the mistake that you're making. You can be the Federalist Society as an organization is very much driving conservative judicial nominees. These are individual members of Delta Sigma Theta. This is not, when you say the Deltas, let me show you this here, because this is what you actually posted. Go to my iPad, please. You tweeted, a Delta from the House of Delegates accidentally retweeted my other tweet. She says she is mission driven. What's their mission? Now I'm really curious. PR Randall cares. Is this your mission too? So when you do your research, Scott, have you bothered to actually find out what the mission of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated is?
Plenty of research, but I've not personally heard from Phyllis Randall. I've not personally heard from Louise Lewis, who's the president of the Senate of Virginia, that says she runs this house with the Deltas, that she runs. If they were a separate organization and singular, and they didn't actually say that they run this joint or run this place.
But you don't. But I explained to you what the phrase means.
This is her saying that their organization represents and runs the Virginia Senate.
Scott. Scott.
Quite different.
Scott.
So what?
So, 1 second, Scott.
What?
You tweeted about the mission, correct?
Yes, I did.
Allow me to educate you. Go to my iPad, please. This is the actual mission statement, Scott, of Delta Sigma Theta Incorporated. It says they are a private, not-for-profit organization whose purpose is to provide assistance and support through established programs in local communities throughout the world. The sorority currently has 1,000 collegiate and alumni chapters located in the United States, Canada, Japan, Germany, the Virgin Islands, Bermuda, the Bahamas, Jamaica, West Africa, and the Republic of Korea. More than 10,000 members typically attend Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated's biennial national convention. Actually, it's more like 20 or 30,000. And each of the 7 regional conferences held during years when there is no national convention. It says that when they had their national convention in D.C., 38,000 members registered and attended. It lays out their founders, their historical timeline. Their mission is very much about womanhood. It's about community service. It's about public service. So, Scott, my point is this here. If you're so concerned about their mission, all you got to do is just Google them. So you don't have to wait till Phyllis call you. It literally says right here on their website, it took me 0.6 seconds. Purpose and mission statement of Delta Sigma Theta.
Roland, you would know this because you're part of the Alphas. May I say that? Part of the Alphas?
Yes.
Okay. The Deltas actually make all their members sign an NDA, non-disclosure agreement, about everything they learn inside the organization. The Deltas
they do?
The Deltas also
Hold on, wait. They do?
Yeah.
Tanya, have you had to sign an NDA as a Delta where if you ever you remember, right? Have you ever had to sign an NDA?
Absolutely not.
So, Scott, where did you get that from? Scott, where do you get that from?
I have the Delta's website.
Where? What's the link?
I don't have the link in front of me. I can send you the PDF. The NDA you actually make the Delta sign if you would like.
It's an NDA.
You're in Loudon. We can actually meet up.
No. You said it's an NDA. Really? I just typed an NDA in
and if one of those members steps outside,
Scott, hold on. I just typed NDA in the search box. Nothing comes up. So yeah, please tell me where that NDA is.
If a Delta steps outside these NDAs, they actually charge and fine their members between $2,000 to $5,000 and suspend them or expel them from this organization. So why
do you want to know about what Delta happens in their meetings? Like, my wife go to sorority meetings. I don't care what they talk about. And hell, I'm married to her.
I am not trying to attack Deltas. I'm simply saying that.
Actually, you did.
You know, sitting on the White House lawn.
They're members.
Giving your symbol out, but also saying from the Senate and from the Board of Supervisors and from the national level, if the Deltas control this place, I would like to know, and I would like to get past their NDA to wonder why.
First of all, Scott, you got way too much damn time on your hands. Scott, if I replaced all these black women, matter of fact, we've taken photos of a group of black Texas A&M graduates. If these were black Aggies, you would not, if these were white Texas A&M students, and guess what? I've taken similar photos, Scott, you would not be complaining. And
That's
you know
not
that.
fair at all.
So,
You're
Scott, if we said Texas Aggies.
You are making an assumption
Scott,
that I would not care about that.
Scott,
That's not
so
fair.
you would be bothered if a group of Texas A&M or University of North Carolina graduates took a photo together and they said, calling all Tar Heels, calling all Aggies, calling all Mustangs
Roland,
to the floor. You would be bothered.
You're making an assumption. This all starts with Phyllis Randall hiring the executive director.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
I'm telling you exactly what it starts
Phyllis Randall not even in this photo. You comment on this photo.
Wait. This is about local politics first.
No, it's not. This is the White House. This ain't local. This is the White House.
You know all those people, and you live in Loudoun County.
In fact, not a single one of these folks live in Loudoun County. Why do you care?
Roland, I'm trying to tell you.
No, you comment on this photo, Scott. Why do you care if not a single one of these women live in Loudoun County? Why do you care?
And there have been other photos where Phyllis Randall is throwing up her Delta sign.
And she's a member.
And her hiring the executive director who then gets found on fraud of embezzling over $200,000 or somewhere in those lines from the Deltas, there's a real problem with that. I can't hear you. You're muted. I can't hear you. Okay.
So here's the deal. She hired somebody. Okay. But again, you're not discussing Phyllis Randall, and I'll actually have her on the show tomorrow. You.
Really?
No, you. Oh, hell yes. I tweeted you. Hell, I tweeted her. But here's the deal, Scott. Scott, hold on, Scott. Scott, this issue is not about Phyllis Randall. Scott, this isn't about Phyllis. You, Scott, are criticizing these Deltas. You're criticizing the national organization. That's what you're doing. So game recognized game, Scott. So let's stop sit here and joke.
At 7:15, I explained to you, I gave you the background story of where it came from. And the very beginning of that background story started with the executive director and Phyllis Randall of embezzlement.
No. First of all, Phyllis Randall did not embezzle anything.
No, she did not, but her executive director did.
But I want to make sure you're on record by saying that. The bottom line is this here, Scott.
Without a doubt, it is not Phyllis Randall.
Scott, this is very simple, Scott. This is very simple. What you ought to do, and just go to your big church, go talk to some of your black friends who might be in the Divine Nine for you to get a better understanding of who we are and what we do. But I will tell you this, Scott, be real careful. Because when you talk about the power of Deltas, I've seen a 500, 1,000 show up. I'm sure you wouldn't mind seeing 1,000 of them roll up on the Virginia Loudoun County GOP office to have a polite tea and conversation.
I wouldn't mind that at all. You know what? I would actually appreciate that because it would allow me to be able to talk to them, communicate with them, have a conversation, something real and raw.
Well,
I would not mind that.
My suggestion, you call your black Republican Deltas first to have the conversation.
If Phyllis Randall decides to show up too, I would love to have this conversation.
No. You call your black Republican Deltas first because you need to have a conversation with your black Republican Deltas before you talk to the other ones because I don't know, Scott, if you can handle those sisters. Scott, I appreciate it. Thanks for coming on. Maybe
Can I give a last word?
Yeah.
Can I give a last word?
Well, actually, I always get the last word, but you can go ahead and make your final comment. Go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you for having me on, Roland. And I really appreciate the conversation. I really appreciate you being raw and real with me tonight. And I think we should have more of this discussion and discourse. And if you're ever interested in inviting me on again, I would be lovely, and I would love to have
Oh, sure.
come on the show.
Love to have you on. Too many of your fellow Republicans are afraid to come on this show because they no. I'm just telling you, a lot of your fellow Republicans are afraid to come on here because they can't handle the tough questions. They love the comfortable environments, and I don't mean white Republicans, because Senator Tim Scott, he's scared to come over here too. But the reality is, this ain't Fox News, and so I don't play softball. But Scott, I appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Wonderful night.
All right, folks, back to our Roland Mark Unfiltered video in just one moment. Folks, Black Star Network is here.
Oh, no punches!
I'm real revolutionary right now.
Support this man, Black Media. He makes sure that our stories are told.
Thank you for being the voice of Black America, Roland.
Stay black. I love y'all.
All momentum we have now, we have to keep this going.
The video looks phenomenal.
See, this difference between Black Star Network and black-owned media and something like CNN.
You can't be black-owned media and be scared.
It's time to be smart.
Bring your eyeballs home.
You dig?